Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at Ebos Group and see how their share has been performing. Now, just before we jump across and take a look at the performance, remember this is for educational purposes only, certainly not intended to be personalised financial advice. If you're looking for that, then you do need to go and have a chat to your own financial advisor. Let's take a look at Ebos. Right, as you can see, I've got Ebos on the screen here and let's sort of zoom in a little bit. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, so the market has already opened since I've been recording. It's only about 15 minutes into it, but you can see just a little bit of a doji there. So the market for Ebos is up about 30 cents just for today. Now, last week, in fact, we just like the NZX, if you saw my video on Tuesday, then I spoke about the NZX being down for the last 3 weeks in a row, and Ebos is the same. It's actually followed the similar trend. However, the volume, if I look down the bottom, has been quite negligible on Ebos. It did pay a dividend here. That's what the D stands for, and it was a 57-cent dividend, and that, well, it went ex-dividend on the 24th of February this year. So that can have, and I've spoken of this before, can have a negative impact, especially the week following, because obviously at some stage during that week, there were probably people that wanted to hold Ebos in order to get the dividend, and then possibly the week after they wanted to sell it because they no longer wanted to hold it. They've already been paid their dividend. People have varying strategies, to be honest, as to why they invest into shares. For me, I'm not the sort of investor that invests for dividends. To me, they're a byproduct of a share performing well. I'm looking to trade shares that are in clear upward trends. And Ebos had been, to be honest. It reached, and this is only the power of hindsight, it reached a low point around here of sort of January this last year. And since then, we've had a little bit of an upward, had a lot of sideways movement, but then we saw this really good strong candle here back on the end of January this year. And we've then had 3 clear strong weeks, which was absolutely fantastic. Since then, obviously, it has fallen. Now, Ebos hasn't reached its trading highs in this 5-year period. That was around March 2023, and it reached a high of just over $46. So we've still got a wee way to go before we start seeing anything spectacular there. However, Ebos is a share that I'm holding on my portfolio. Depends what happens, obviously, whether it will hit my stop loss or not, and whether I will be sold out, or whether it will continue to run and obviously, hopefully, be a good performer. Not every share, remember, is going to be a good performer, but certainly trends follow what's happening. So if a share's in an upward trading range, then highly likely that trend will continue. And same with going down as well. If the market's trending down, highly likely that will continue. Obviously, there are always going to be tops and bottoms, and no one knows where that will be. Now, let's put our indicators on. We're going to use the moving average. We're going to look at the 30 exponential, and we will also put on the 15-week moving average as well. Right, let's look here. So Ebos currently is trading below both of those moving averages, okay? Now, sometimes, and I've spoken of this before, shares will quite often move back to those moving averages before they will start to move on again. Again, only hindsight's going to tell us this. So if I was looking to buy Ebos today, I wouldn't be, simply because it's trading below both of those moving averages on a weekly basis. If I look at it on a 1-year basis, you can see here that, because it then changes it to a daily range, you actually had the 15-period moving average cross below that 30 on the beginning of March, so only 3 weeks ago that it crossed down, and as you can see, the share's been trading down since then. Because I'm a medium to longer term trader or investor, I work solely on the weekly charts, and this is what the 5-year gives me. So that's why I'm still holding. If you're a shorter term trader looking at that daily chart, you may not be holding it now because it's trading under both of those. So at this stage, we haven't seen that 15-week cross through the 30. Whether it's going to, I don't know. If you look down at the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, it's certainly crossed down here. So that could be indicating that there could be further downward pressure. Again, only time will tell us that. Now let's take a look at how the overall trend has been performing for EBOS. So I'm going to change this 30. I'm going to make it a 200 period moving average exponential, and I'll just take off that 15. And there you go. So over the long term, it is still trading above that 200 period moving average, which could mean that, so this is a very slow moving average indicator, but that gives us the overall trend. So as you can see, the overall trend for this share is definitely up at this stage. It can change, definitely. In fact, if we go, really, if ever since EBOS has been going, or for quite some time, we've definitely been in an upward trend. We just saw it cross below those moving averages. Gosh, that was back in 2008. So that could well have been the credit crisis. Who knows why it did that? But as you can see, it's been quite a strong performer. Now let's take this off, this moving average off, and we will make a comparison to the main board, because obviously it's on the main board. That is certainly one of the indicators for me when I'm looking at buying a share. How's it performing on versus the main board? And when we look at it, so when we do it really does depend. It's really interesting when I look at this. So look over 1 year. Here we go. I'll take it back to 5 years. There. So EBOS, you can see, is outperforming the main board for the NZSX 50, which is definitely something that I want to look at when I'm buying a share. But bearing in mind, if you watched Tuesdays, at this stage, I'm not looking at buying any new positions, simply because the overall trend for the main board of the New Zealand market is down. So for EBOS, it is something that I'm holding in my portfolio, and I'm definitely sticking to my stop losses. They are already in place. When I put a trade in the market to buy, once I've done the buy, I then also load a sell into the market at the same time. So that means for me that I know when I'm going to exit my stock, and it takes completely all the emotion out of it. Okay, so at this stage for me, it's about riding EBOS, seeing what happens, and seeing where the share takes us. So I hope that's helped. Happy to help if you would like me to review any other shares. And also bearing in mind, I am considering running a free course, a very elementary course on learning to invest. So if you're interested in that, definitely message me, and hopefully we can get some more information out to you. So until next week, take care.